Hey, 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 you guys. Hold on, my video is not letting me, which means that something else is using my video. Here it is. There we go. There we go. I'm here. How is everybody doing? Give me a thumbs up. Good? This is my bedtime look. You guys in your bedtime look too? Yeah. It's 9 p.m. here. I know it's dinner time in California. Hi, all the Callies. And I know we've got some Hawaiians here, which is like afternoon for them. But for us, it's like bedtime. So I'm excited to connect with you today and share with you some things that I've been working on. And I hope you had the chance to print it off. And if not, no worries. Still there. You can do it now or you can do it after. But we're going to do a training today on creating our 90-day action plan. And if I have not yet met you, my name is Denise. I've been a part of it. I always forget to tell people who I am, but that's okay. I've been a part of it, works for almost 12 years. It's like over 11 and a half years now, which just makes me sound really old and wise. How about that? But I love our team trainings because every single Tuesday night we get together and talk about what we're up to, what's working, and we brainstorm, and I think that, as I said on my live today, high why, your high desire and high accountability are things that you can create for yourself to give you the kick in the butt to keep going and to stay focused. So I just love our times together. Now remember, Sundays are work days. This is when we work. I work, whoever's leading works, and we're just messaging people and doing host to post ourselves, and it's accountability for that. And then Tuesday is where we actually talk about a topic and today especially, I'm going to give you guys a chance to respond, to give feedback, to talk. It's not super big today, so that's nice to be able to have a chance to actually share. But with that being said, if you have not yet had a chance to go to denisewalsh.com, I'll put it here in the chat, .action. This is the action planner that we created, and the goal here is to help with time management, because one of the biggest barriers to getting anything done is not prioritizing it, not scheduling it, thinking it's going to happen on its own, and just letting the time fly by. And weeks can go by and you realize, oh, I have not been intentional. And guess what? When we're not intentional, nothing gets done. So this is what I wanted to do on the live, and I didn't know how. So Brandon will teach me. Just so you know, we're always learning. No one ever starts off excellent. So I'm learning myself. But I know how to do it on Zoom. So I'm excited to share it with you on the screen. And what I want to do is just go through it with you and teach you how to do this, so then you can implement it into your life. So I want you, even if you don't have it written down, if you don't have it printed off, you can still go through it with me and that kind of thing. Does anybody have any questions before we get going? Okay. For some reason, it's not letting me mute. Okay, I'll mute everyone. You guys can unmute yourself or go in the chats if you've got any questions. No big deal. Okay, Dream Life Action Planner. Oh, so cute. Now, I would recommend printing it double-sided, because then the calendar is like this, and that just can be helpful. Okay, so the whole idea with this is that it will accompany the workbook when that comes out, and this is the this is the big thing. In my opinion, people get started in this business and they go, "What do I do?" That's the question, right? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Tell me what to do, and I'll do it. And yeah, totally. But everyone's what to do is going to be a little bit different based on their schedule. So this is going to be how you figure out what to do for your schedule and your desires. In my belief, I believe that we all can live a Dream 10 life every single day, meaning all areas of your life can be rated a 10. They can. When I went through this exercise that I'm about to show you, with team members on the cruise, and when I did one-on-one appointments at the end of last year with people, and we did it here, I asked people to rate all 7 areas of life on a scale of 1 to 10. And most people were rating themselves a 4. And what happens when we rate ourselves a 4 is we become used to a 4. And then we don't think that a 10 is possible. So we give up on a 10, and we get comfortable at a 4. We complain with all of our friends at a 4. You know what I mean? We like have this camaraderie of, yeah, life sucks, doesn't it? And we're all broke. And like, you know what I mean? Like, you can just picture that mentality. Like, that's what happens. And so we're all a 4, and we like brag about being, okay, we're going to break out of that. Like, that's just not true. And I believe we all can be a 10. So in this first section, I want to start getting your wheels turning. So briefly picture it. Describe what a 10 would look like in these areas. What does your family look like if it were a 10? What does your finances look like if it were a 10? What does your friendship look like if it were a 10? And what would your health look like if it were a 10? Hobbies, business, giving back. We're going to focus on business goals today because that's why we're here. But this is a chance for you to just kind of let your juices flow. Take the lid off. Aaron posted in a group today, like, he had a dream where he had like $100,000 handed to him. Like, what would you do if you had money? Like, if it wasn't even an option, if you took the lid off yourself and you didn't, think about what's reasonable. What does a 10 look like? Because it's all certainly possible. So this is where you dream a bit. And then today we are going to focus on business because we're on a business call. So I'm going to teach you how to build your business, but narrow it down. And we put this as a square, which I think was interesting, is because this again allows your creative juices to get flowing. So take business right now, and then like, this is where you brain dump. Again, what would a 10 in detail be like for your business? As I'm talking, start writing this down. Start thinking. Would you be signing up like-minded rock stars? Would you have momentum within your team? Are you paying off $10,000 in debt? Are you a work-from-home mom who takes their kid to the park and meets other moms at the park? Are you quitting your 3rd job? Like, what does your business success look like for you? Super specific. This is really, really important because if you can't see it, you can't do it. It starts in your mind and then it goes out into physical, always. Always. And if you check out my YouTube videos, I have a goal right now, just so you know. I also have goals. I have to have goals because otherwise I would die. But Becky knows that. She's like, yes, you always think of something. But my YouTube goal right now is to post on YouTube every day for 90 days, which is freaking hard. Like, how do you have that much to say? I don't know. I'm doing like 5 in a day when my hair is beautiful, and then like scheduling them out. Like, it is very interesting to do. But I haven't missed a day because once I decide something, I do it. Anyway, so go subscribe. And then on one of my YouTube videos, it talks about my war room. And my war room is where I create my new reality. If I don't see it in physical right now, I go to my war room and I like pray and I speak it out loud and I heal and I cry and I grieve and I'm angry and I'm let go of the junk and I create new thought patterns and it's intense in that war room, let me tell you. But you have to do that sometimes to get your mind to switch onto a new track. This is like a positive war room. Like, hopefully you don't have to grieve too much here, but what you can do is dream. And you can be really detailed and you can be really like you've got to get a picture in your mind. So I'm going to give you a minute right now to start writing this down. What does your dream business look like? And again, I don't care about what's reasonable. I don't care about what's seems normal. Like, we're not there. I've seen so much not normal stuff happen in this business that I'm like not content. I'm not like interested in normal. I'm interested in what you want. I'm interested in what you're dreaming about. I'm interested in the desires of your heart. So I'm going to give you a minute because I want you to leave this call with your action plan. So I'm going to give you space. Yay. Hi, guys. Thanks for saying hi in the chat. All right. Cool. Karen and Josh are doing it together. I love it when you have the accountability partner of a spouse, or that's very helpful. Hey, Deb. Becky, I'll see you Thursday. Yeah? Yeah. Awesome. Brandon's already in Florida, and then my boys and I are going to Florida on Saturday. So after Willow Creek, we go to Florida for a week because Brandon wants us to. He wants to be in Florida because he's working at corporate right now, and he misses us. So we're going to go to Florida in August. Doesn't that sound cool? It's going to be so hot.
That's so cute, but that will be very hot.
Well, we're going to go to Disney. I'm like, no one will be going to Disney in August. So we're totally.
Oh my God. You'd be surprised. When we're doing this, like talking about it, are we doing more what the money that our business produces can do for us as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can have a number, but then like why? So my number is $300,000 a month. Now I got to get clear on why, because the why is what will drive you.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't need $300,000 a month, so it's easy to give up because you don't really need it, but I want it. There are a lot of cool things I can do with it. So, but yes, what do you want to do with it? How would you spend it? What are you going to pay off? What is your dream house going to look like? Like, this is when you're like, okay, but also think about your business time, the people you're working with. It's fun. It fills you up. It's easy. Like those are the types of energies you're putting towards your business goal right now. All right. Then we're going to work your calendar. So you can use this if you've printed it off as kind of a gauge, or you can use your normal calendar. I use Google Calendar now. I have transferred all of my stuff to Google. And so, I'll show you what I did, and then I'll give you a chance to do it for yourself, or what I do every time I have a new goal. So, okay, first we want to set the date, because again, we want to take that, like the big dreaming, the visualization of what you want your business to look like, and then set a date to it. So essentially, if you're saying, I want the $1,000 Ruby bonus, I want the Diamond $7,500 bonus because X, Y, and Z, you're basically putting a date to what your goal is. So in this business, it would probably be either an income goal or a promotion goal, or a recruitment goal, like an action goal. So it could be something like, I'm going to work 2 hours a day for 90 days. It could be something that's called a process goal. So it can either be a process goal or it can be a results goal. Now, what's interesting about the business is, as you know, it's, it's not the dream life map. That's something different. Yep. Go to denisewalsh.com/action. The dream life map is also a freebie that I have. But this is new. I just finished it. So yeah, print it off. And then let me see. So the 90 days is just an easy deadline. It certainly can be longer or shorter. So 90 days is just like, as we know, this business is about creating momentum, and you've got to be like you think of a airplane. You've got to go fast to create that momentum. So you want a time frame where you can, that's what someone told me to do a YouTube video every day for a year, and I'll never have to worry about leads for the rest of my life. And I was like, that sounds crazy. But I can do 90 days. 90 days, I can have my head down. I can have it can be buried. I can make decisions based on my goal. You know what I mean? So for me, 90 days is reasonable, but you can certainly do whatever. So my dream life goal is to hit Ruby, to hit Diamond, to earn $200,000 or to earn $2,000 a month, to work 2 hours a day and over the course, like whatever your goal is. So that's the cement, like the exclamation point. Now that we have your goal, and let's see if it's August, September, October. So at the end of October could be a good end date for a lot of the goals. You want to work backwards from there. So we're going to reverse engineer your goal starting with like October 31st. But as you know, you never want to promote on the end of the month because the system gets really buggy because everyone's promoting. So you always want to promote the 28th of the month. The last day of auto ships is the 25th. Oh, good, Sam. Yay. The last day of auto ships is the 25th. And so you always want to try to promote on the 28th. So you're not leaving it to like the rest of the last few months. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at our calendar and reprioritize. So first, what I want you to do, and this is again where we start the prioritizing process, is to write down a list of your monthly commitments. So what do you do now? How do you spend your days? What does that look like for you? Is it, school's starting, so I pick my boys up from school at 3 o'clock every day. Is it making dinner? Is it laundry? Is it following up with leads, generating leads, team calls? If you work, put that on there. Like anything that you spend time on, brain dump in this section and just write it all down. In the next little bit, we are going to put it on your calendar in strategic places, and we're going to outsource some of them, or we're going to put some of them on the back burner, or we're going to say no to some of them for a little bit because we've got to make our priority. But right now we're just going to brain dump, because I bet you're doing some things you don't need to do. I bet there's some things that are good, but they're not great. Or they're even things that are not really helpful towards your goal. So I'm going to give you just a minute to write this down as well. And I can tell you, every time I have a new goal, I do this again. I take out my calendar. Yes. So taking a nap during the day. Okay. You have to decide, is that helping me reach my goal? If you're like staying up late talking to Aussies till midnight, maybe, but you have to decide. I'm like, as soon as it becomes 10 o'clock Eastern, I start calling Chicago, and then I start calling Mountain Time. That's funny. Yeah. Okay. So, and that's funny, Sam. You're like, actually, yes, I was. I know. I used to recruit Aussies on purpose, and we would like schedule calls, and now we just make money in our sleep. So write a list, brain dump everything that you do. Okay, so now we're going to rank it. So this is when we take a look at that list, and you're going to rewrite them in just a minute in your priorities, like in your ranking priorities. So this is the 80-20 rule. So 80% of our time are spent on the things that either make us the most money or connected to your dream life goal. So, this is a neutral game plan. This is not necessarily for our business, right? So somebody could have a health goal, and that would be connected to this. Whatever your goal at the time is, you rearrange your priorities. But for us, it is a business goal. So the things that are connected to you reaching your business goal, you want to be spending most of your time doing. 20% of the time are things that must be done because it's life, but they don't necessarily move you towards a particular goal. So for me, working out is a part of my daily necessity. Right now, it's not I guess it's a part of my goal because I always want to be healthy, but it's a part of the 20%. Right now, I'm not spending 80% of my time. When I was doing the bodybuilding competition, it felt like 80% of my time was food prep, cooking vegetables, putting them in containers, thinking about food, working out 3 times a day. Like, it was intense, but that was my goal at the time. And I rearranged my schedule to fit my goal. Okay. So we're going to rank them, and I'm going to tell you where I learned this. So this is interesting because this is it worksy. I try to make all my material neutral because I know there's a lot of people not in our business who also need this information, but I learned this the hard way is what I'm saying in our business. So I'm teaching you before you learn it, so you don't have to learn it the hard way. So this is what happened. I was talking to somebody about, I wanted to go presidential. And she said, we were going through my schedule, and what we did is we took a look at all of my It Works activities for the entire month. And then I ranked them. So with presidential, you need 4 strong legs. And if this doesn't make any sense to you, don't worry, just follow along. You need 4 strong legs. And I had 2 of them already ready to go. Like, they were already promoted, and I was just working on these last 2. Well, what I noticed when I went through this ranking on what my current goal was, and in this point, it was presidential, all of my time were spent with Nikki Moore and Amanda Casanova, who had already promoted to the goal. They were already triple and double or whatever I needed. I was spending time with the wrong legs. They already had got momentum, but they already had hit the pin level I needed them to. They already knew what they were doing, but they were my friends and we were having fun. And so I found myself saying yes every time they asked me to do stuff, which meant I was not building in these two legs, which is interesting because if I say my goal is presidential, but I'm not working in these two legs, I'm not spending time there, I'm not going to go presidential. So what I learned to do was to say, what is my goal? I looked at my calendar. I ranked them. Anything in these two legs would be considered, like really generating leads is always a 1, rank 1. Following up with leads is always a rank 1 because we always want to be doing that. These were ranked 1 because they're helping me get to my goal. These were ranked 2. They're important, but if a rank 1 opportunity came, I had to say yes to that first. So what I would say to them is, I'll absolutely be there if I can. But if something like, if I get a new distributor between now and then and I have to launch them, or you know what I mean? Like I was there, but I had to make these two a priority. So what this allowed me to do is take a look at where I was spending my time and really adjust and say, is this helping me get to where I want to be? Or am I just spinning my wheels? So for this activity, all the rank 1s are connected to your exact goal. So if your exact goal is Ruby, then you are generating leads, following up with leads primarily, and like training your new distributors. Those are the 3 things you're doing because you don't have leaders yet. So you're generating leads, which means you're getting the wrap on people, parties, expos, one-on-one appointments. All of that would be ranked 1. Ranked 2 would be things like, I don't know, following up with a current customer. Like that's good. That's like we want to do that, but that is not necessarily priority when your goal is to sign distributors. Rank 3 is like laundry. Like seriously, get paper plates for the next 90 days. It's okay. Rank 3 are things that are probably like someone has to do them at some point, but it doesn't have to be you and is not helping you reach your goal. This is when you say, okay, I need teenager help, or husband, help me with some of this stuff for right now. Or we're just going to like do laundry once a month. Like who needs socks in the summer anyway? Like there's just some things where you can say no. For Brandon and I, we said no to volleyball. We were on a volleyball group for a couple years and we said no. We stopped. I was a youth group leader and I said no to that. I mean, there were some things that were like good for me, but they weren't helping me reach my goal at that time. And I had to say no to them so I could make my priority a priority, and then I can say yes later. And now we've gone to Africa, and now we've done a bunch, you know what I mean? Like we're able to donate way more to our church and things like that. So anyway, this is the ranking your schedule. And I think this is, there's 2 really important parts in this, and this is one of them. Taking a step back and saying, where am I spending my time? And is it actually helpful? So in this section, you can take that brain dump that you did and now rank them. Rank them. Are they necessary? Like, what are the things that are going to help you reach your goal? What are the things that are helpful but not, rank 2? And then what are the things that probably could be outsourced or, don't have to be the main priority? I know people that vacuum every day. Like, you don't need to do that. You know what I mean? Like there's just something that you're just like, okay, now is not the time because I'm going diamond. Okay. So this is where you rank them, and you don't have to rewrite them on, here you can, but on your normal list, you can just rank them. Next, we outsource. Now this is really important, especially for super moms. I was this way. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and I really had to grow through the fact that my life and my parenting was going to be a bit different than hers. I love my mom. I think still it's her job to answer me when I call. Like it's her job to always be available to me, and she is, and I will always love her. But she wasn't running a multi-million-dollar organization. You know what I mean? So it just looks different. It just looks different. It's not bad. It's not good. But I had to kind of learn that and learn that it's okay to ask for help. And it's okay that everything's not perfect all of the time. And I don't have to do it all myself. So this is when we go back to those rank 3s, even some of the ranked 2s, and see, for example, do you just need help with the kids? Do you need to get a babysitter? Do you need to, if you want 2 hours a day, how can you make sure that that happens? I mean, I can tell you Brandon has never mowed our lawn. Like even when we didn't really have a lawn, we lived in a subdivision, he would tell me, an hour of me doing this is going to make us way more money than the $20 I'm paying this teenage boy. And I was like, I don't understand, but okay. But now I understand, because not only did it save him the hour, but it also, let me see, gave him brain space. Isn't that funny? I forgot that part. That's what I mean. Like it gave him brain. He didn't have to think, I have to mow the lawn today. You know what I mean? Like it freed him. It freed him. And when you have brain space, you have creativity that flows. So who can you ask for help? I did this when I was with the Jack Canfield stuff. I did the Train the Trainer program with him, and I spent a week doing his program. And we spent a lot of time saying, who can I ask for help? Who knows somebody that can help me in this area? And I had to text them right then and say, can you please, watch my boys every Saturday for 3 hours so I can go to Starbucks and work? Or can you, Miss Chrissy, my babysitter / house cleaner / community mother, like everyone needs community. And I found someone and so I had to ask her, what do you think? Will you help me? Anyway, this was a hard skill, I think. Another book that helped me with this skill was called The Aladdin Factor by Jack Canfield. And this is when I learned, I had so many aha moments with this, because I was, for a while, I didn't give myself permission to ask. And so that book really freed me to ask boldly, ask for what I want, trust what I want, all that kind of stuff. So Cheyenne, you're going to love it. I listened to it while I was running, and I remember right now, like running and being like, oh my gosh, it's changing my life. So now every time I go to a hotel, I ask for an upgrade, because it tells you to do that, like just for practice. So now Brandon does it too, and we all think we're so funny. Sometimes they say no, but sometimes they say, sure, Mrs. Walsh. And I'm like, thank you. The other day he got an upgrade for his rental car, and he was like, I'm so proud. But it's because we learned the skill of asking. It's called The Aladdin Factor by Jack Canfield. But this is important. And I think for moms especially, I don't want to, it's not necessarily true, but I know for me as a mom, we can take on so much ourselves. But we can get help for picking kids up from school. We can get help for swim practice. We can get help for some of this stuff. And that doesn't make us good or bad. It's just life right now. Okay. So now we're going to take all of those ranked 1 and those ranked, okay. First, we're going to break it into our daily schedule. So if you take a look at this section, this is focused or fractured time. This is when we look at our day and we chunk our day down to ensure that we are putting time into our schedule that's going to get us to where we want to go. So this is my example. And again, I have had to rearrange this several times when I realized I'm not doing the things I need to do. I had to go back and reprioritize, because there was a lot of times where I would say, I'll just get it done in the nooks and crannies of my day, but we all know that doesn't work. So we've got to give it time. Whatever we want to do, we've got to give it time. So this is during the school year. I wake up around 5. I work out from 6:30 to 7:30. I come back in. I get my coffee. I read around 7. Get the kids ready for school. Brandon actually takes Owen to school at 8. And then I pick them up. So that's been helpful. And then I set aside time from 9 to 1. Now, again, this is because this is my job. So I have this flexibility. There was a time when I couldn't get up in the morning because I had toddlers. And so I worked out from 10 to 11. I had to rearrange my schedule that fit my needs at that time. So from 9 to 1 or so, that was when I would work on Dream Life Goal. Again, this is just my schedule, so take a look at yours. Dream Life Goal activities are ranked ones, and I will go through that in just a minute. I gave myself time to do laundry or to, eat or to whatever I needed to do. Picking up my kids from school is a non-negotiable for me because I want to do that. So I put it in my schedule, and I am sometimes late. And even though I live 5 miles away, like 3 miles away, it took me 5 minutes. I don't know how I am late, but it happened. But it's important to me. And so I have asked my mom sometimes, but it's in my schedule because I want to. I honestly don't do a ton of work between 3 and 8. Like I'm on my phone, and now they're old enough where they actually don't need me as much, but I'm on my phone, but I'm not like on the computer as much as I used to be. So I can respond, but I don't schedule calls, that kind of thing. So this is just, again, my schedule where I'm doing parties 3 times a week. I'm interacting with the team, trainings, parties, etc. So take a look at your day. When can you work on your Dream Life Goal? So for this, it's your business. When will you work on your business? Can you do it from 9 to 1? Can you do it from 9 to noon? Can you do it from 3 to 4? Can you do it during nap time, 1 to 3? Can you do it after bedtime from 8 to 10? Sometimes that's the best time to work your business anyway. So if you can only do it from 8 to 10 at night, don't feel bad about that, because sometimes I wait to message people then because that's when they're on too. So if you've got little kids at home and you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do it during the day, like that's okay. When we were doing our power hours for Black Diamond, I would wait to message people until the end, like till the evening, and they would respond much faster. So it is what it is. But you just have to know. You just have to know, when are you going to work your business? And then what we want to do is we want to take the specific time that you are working your business, you're working on your Dream Life Goal, and we're going to create your daily 6 list. What are you going to do during your work hours? Your work hours, it works hours. And your daily 6 list is really just saying, following up with leads. So how do you, generating leads, parties, expos, one-on-ones. This is engagement with social media. This is, you can spend a half an hour on social media engaging and messaging people, a half an hour following up with people that have requested information, parties, expos, looking for events in your area, getting to networking events. Like, what are you going to do? Because honestly, there were times where I was like, I want to work my business, but I don't even know what to do. Has anyone ever been there? So then what do? You clean your desk again. You organize your area, Anyone else? Yeah, that was me. I would be like, I'm going to read a personal development book and call it work, So that is what we do when we don't know what to do. So here we're really taking down this chunked time of 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, and we're going to get specific on what we're going to do during this time. So I learned this skill when, again, this was a lot of Jack stuff, is when I really had accountability for what I wanted. I would say I wanted something, and then I had all this accountability, which made me do it. Isn't that interesting? Becky, chart. Yeah, exactly. It's like the same as yesterday. Seriously. Carol, I know. We've all been there. That's okay. That's how we learn and grow. So what happened with me in this situation is I had an accountability partner, and we were supposed to talk every day. So every day for 5 minutes, we would call each other. And my accountability partner ended up being this guy who's 50 and in Colorado, and really didn't he was a businessman. And so we would really just do 5 minutes, and it was like, did you do it? Yes, no. Okay, bye. And so what would happen is I would say, and during this Jack stuff, in order to be certified, I had to plan a half-day workshop. So I had 30 people come to my house, and I put on a workshop. I had a PowerPoint up on my wall. We had snacks. We had it was cool. It was really fun. But I had to plan it. And so what I would do is I would say, work on workshop. So then he would call me, and he'd be like, did you work on your workshop? And I'd be like, yep. And he'd be like, what are you doing tomorrow? I'd be like, work on my workshop. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Because that's something you work on for a month. You know what I mean? Like, so what I learned is that I had to take that bigger goal and like pare it down. I'm not just going to work on the workshop every day. I mean, what about the workshop? So for you, what about Ruby? What about Diamond? Like, pare it down to something you can check off the list. So what I learned to do when I had this accountability partner was say, I am going to work on the PowerPoint for the E equals R plus O section. And then I had to like really be like, list out all the things I needed to do and then give it a time slot. Because work on workshop was too big, too vague. I couldn't cross it off. And really I'd sit down and be like, I don't even know what to do. So write it all down, get so specific, and then you can give this a time slot in your It Works time. So this is your to-do list. And one reason why I like having it printed double-sided is because then it looks like this. So just so you know, I went to Staples and I got it done regular and I didn't like it. So I said double-sided, and then this is like that. So if that's helpful for when you look at it. All right, so the goal here, guys, is if you take a look at this, you're figuring out your daily schedule. When are you going to work your business? And then you're making it like even smaller by bite-sized pieces. Like, what are you going to do during that time? Okay, then we take a look at the month. And this is when you are going to take your 3-month goal and you're going to pare it down. So an example of this is when you say, my goal is to be diamond by August 31st. No, I mean, that could be true. That could be your goal. But October, 3 months. You want to have your people in place by the beginning of October or by the first week of October. So then you're rallying for volume the rest of the month, which means you want to be emerald in September, which means you want to be ruby in August, which means you want to figure out by the end of August who your 2 rubies are going to be so you can help them be ruby in the month of September. So you're working backwards with that big goal in mind, and then you're paring it down week by week. So again, during that your daily list and your like 6 lists that you're doing with your business each day, you're connecting it to this longer term goal. So I know, Marwa, who's just went presidential, has her team message or post on Facebook 3 times a day. Product, business, lifestyle. 3 times a day, every day. And if they miss it, they are like, she basically says, you cannot miss a day. You cannot miss a day. She says, if you miss a day, like, why would you get a customer when I don't miss a day? Like, I am going to be the one that's open for business. So don't miss a day. So anyway, as you can see, you've got the big picture event and you hone it down into what are you going to do on a daily basis. So we can go over that a bit more if you guys have questions on that. And then I want to give you time to do it. But last but not least, we are going to execute and evaluate. So this is when we set yourself up with, oh, I forgot. It's right here. I'll do that better. So you're going to set yourself up for success by having accountability partners. One of the reasons why I got my workshop done is because I had an accountability partner asking me every day, what did I do to reach my goal? And if I didn't do it, he said, why? And I was training for the freaking bodybuilding competition during this time, you guys. Like, it was not easy to do all of this, but you do when you commit and you have people asking you. So who for you is your accountability partner? When you've got a strong why, you've got strong passion, and you've got strong accountability, you can make so much magic happen in your life. But you do have to create that. You cannot expect it to be your upline. You cannot expect it to be your enroller. Nobody cares more about your business than you do. So everybody's connected to someone. Everyone has community within your team pages. You've got team chats going on. Like, be accountable for your own accountability and get yourself in a space where you're surrounded by people who are excited. How often will you talk? How often will you meet? And be consistent. Another thing I did after the Jack stuff was I joined a mastermind group. And again, I really think that they're the reason I got all this done. Is because I kept telling them I wanted to do it. And for months, like a year, I didn't do it. And finally I was like, I've got to put it in my schedule. You know what I mean? And so this is when I started really doing it again. And it's done. And it might be, we might redesign it so it's not so big because this is just expensive to print, but I do love how easy to read it is and stuff like that. So anyway, we'll see. I learned a lot this project as well. You have to account for your accountability. Ooh, that's good, huh? So figure that out for yourself and then assess. So in one of my new podcasts coming out, I was talking to a guy and we were like, it's like focused flexibility, you know, because we can't be so rigid that we don't ebb and flow and get feedback. You know what I mean? Like we're focused with like the end goal in mind, but if something's not working, we got to switch it up. That's just the way it goes. Whenever I whine to Brandon, because that's what he calls it, he's like, you should see me. He's like, I do 1 million Facebook ads before I find one that works. And have you seen how many things that I did that didn't work? And I was like, no, because I only see the things that do work. But what's interesting is like everybody who is reaching their goals are ebbing and flowing and getting feedback and learning and seeing what's working. And they're just continuing to move forward. So with that being said, what's working? What isn't working? And reevaluate. And that's okay. And it's like this dance, you know what I mean? So are you making the progress you expected? Why or why not? Is there something getting in the way? Like, are you distracted during your It Works time and you're not actually doing it? Do you need to turn off Facebook during your It Works time? Do you need to set a timer during your It Works time? Do you need to, say, hubby, take the kids during, like what boundaries do you need to set up so you actually do it? There are some things that you may need to play with or you'll learn about yourself as you go through this process. And that's cool. That's part of the focused flexibility. You just learn as you go. The biggest thing is that you're growing. Yeah. Aaron, turn off. No, here's the deal. So Aaron, he says, turn off my retail job. Yes, we will do that. But use it as like a major networking place right now. Like use this to your advantage because you're building relationships with people who know a lot of people. You've got regulars and you've got people, you're just constantly like being that shining light and you're smiling and you're engaging and you're friending them on Facebook. Like you're doing things so you can build your network where you are because you never know where it's going to lead. Oh, Sam. Yes, I agree. Me too. And the thing is we don't know what we don't know until we know it. And so once we know it, we can learn and flow and do something different. But sometimes we can certainly be too hard on ourselves or think that we need to know it already. Like, I know. We all need some therapy sometimes. Oh, geez, all the learning we do. To call it that. Robin says, oh, yes. So smart. Be specific about the unhealthy habit you want to change. Make sure it's a memorable goal, action-oriented, realistic, timely, and support. Who's going to be your support? And that's actually in here, but they have smarter goals now. You heard of that? Let me see if I can find it quickly. Smarter goals. What is the E? E is evaluate, and R, I think, is readjust, because it's the whole thought of, it's in the be focused, set goals section. Yes. Specific, measurable, achievable, results-based, time-bound, evaluated, and readjust. So it's just the essence of focused and flexible. Smarts just got smarter. So true, so true. Okay, so what questions do you guys have about your specific, and then congratulations. And the reason why this worked for me throughout the years is because then I didn't have to think. With the bodybuilding competition, she gave me a plan, and I just did it. And I didn't think, what should I eat today? What should I do today? I just did it. I followed the plan. Once you create your plan, you don't have to think anymore. Once you know you work your business from 8 to 10 at night or from 9 to noon or from whenever, you don't think. You simply execute, and it becomes a habit. And it's actually weird if you don't do it. So this is like one of the things. Once you've got this in place, you're flexible, but you just do. And that is what separates those from who do and who want, because we think about what we want to do and we don't do it. So the goal here is you spend some time creating your plan, outsourcing if you need to, setting your hours, getting specific on what it is you want to do during that time, and then you do it. And you have the accountability to kick your butt if you need it. Remove distractions. Yes, Cheyenne says, are you wasting time on things not making you money? Apps, games, TV, Pinterest. Amen. So let's go back to this. How embarrassing is it going to be to when you take a time audit? I'll go way up here. And you brain dump all of your activities. Where would you rank Netflix? I know. You know, these are the things to really think about. There's a time and place for it, certainly. But it's like Friday night, or, you know, it's not like every night. So you just want to really take a look. Where are you spending your time? Yeah. So the cool part is, exactly, Cheyenne's got it. You want to know why? Because, Cheyenne, I'm just going to brag on you for a minute. She was one of my early readers, because I had several people read it, and I'd send them the Word doc that was 180 pages. And I would be like, can you please read this and get me feedback? And the cool, like, Cheyenne, I mean, not just from the book, she's done a lot of personal development, but she's a different person. And because she's a different person, she's attracting different people into her team, and her team is growing and thriving, but she had to change first. And so anyway, you're right. You don't need to worry about the how. You just do, and the how will figure itself out, because you're excited, you're passionate, you're focused, you know where you're going, and people are going to come into your path that will help you. One last story. Can you get the file? Yes. The file is at denisewalsh.com/action. denisewalsh.com/action. Brandon helped me do that. Very proud of. I watched him do it. He did it in like 2 seconds. It would take me like 3 days. So cool. Yes, Cheyenne, unmute. You can totally say something.
Okay. So can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So Becky, it's more for you, but it's easier to like say it, and I think it can help everybody. It was like January, and I messaged Denise, and I'm like, I'm working on double, and I have my account and my husband's leg. And I was like, and my leg it has like one person working in it. It's the weakest leg ever. It's not coming together. And she's just like, figure out your goal, figure out your plan, go after it. Don't worry about the how. Well, in February, I signed a rock star, and she's charted Emerald in 6 weeks by herself. I didn't do any of the distributors. Like, she did it all by herself, charted Emerald. And it went from not holding executive to fully charted diamond in a month and a half. So whatever you think up here is what's going to play out in your actual work. So if you think the goal is unrealistic, then it's going to be unrealistic. But if you're like, I'm going to do it, and this is how I'm going to do it, then you're going to do it. And even still, if you set your goal, and let's say it's like diamond by October, and you're emerald by October, that's further than you are by not setting that goal and pushing for it. And you're just that step closer, and you know you're going to get it the next month.
You're creating momentum. Momentum takes time, but it takes time and focus. You know, you don't create momentum being haphazard. You create momentum by being consistent, which is why I'm doing a YouTube video every day for 9 days to create momentum. But yes, awesome. Cheyenne and Lori agrees. You are a different person, and that's just the coolest thing. And that's my favorite part of this business, is the growth that happens. Because you have goals and you're pushing yourself outside your comfort zone and you're seeing things change. Yes, Becky, you do. You're like already presidential in my head. So just get there already. Okay, no big deal. So Carmela had an awesome goal. Okay, or a question. This is a great question. And her question is what if what if it's a time where I'm not wanting to work? Like for me, I don't typically schedule calls during dinner time, you know? So your business can be on and off, meaning there is no such thing as a wrap emergency. Now, I do know that when someone's hot, you want to respond. And if they're like, hey, I want to order now, then you do. But you need to set your own boundaries because nobody else knows what they are. I've got 2 examples of this. One time I scheduled a 3-way call with Cammie and my a lead because I was scared. So I said, Cammie, can you help me? And we did a 3-way call. And Cammie said on the call, Denise knows I don't work on Wednesdays, but when she asks me for help, I say yes. And I thought, I do not know that you don't work on Wednesdays. Like, I can't even keep track of my own schedule. Like, why would I remember yours? So it's not up to me to remember her schedule. It's up to her to say, no, Wednesday's a home day. Let's do it on Thursday. So you want to set your own boundaries and be okay with it. I schedule things on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, like at night. Those are when I typically do stuff. And that's just what my habit is, and that's what I do. Another example of this is my sister. She's so funny. She was a X-ray tech back in the day before she was able to quit her job because of her business, and she would get dings on her phone while she was at work. And she was like, why am I getting so frustrated about this? They don't know I'm at work. I'm at work, and my business is off for right now. And when I'm done, I'll pick it back up. So it's really compartmentalization. And I think for moms, this is what's helped me a ton as well, is when I'm a mom, I'm a mom. And I feel no guilt about working or traveling or having goals because I know I'm available and emotionally responsive to my boys. And we play a ton. And it's probably better that we get away from each other, you know? So like when you're a mom, you know what I mean? You like compartmentalize, and then you don't feel like you wish you were doing something different, or you should, or all those things we put on ourselves. So Carmela, I mean, I think a couple things you can do is you can just say, hey, I'm busy right now, but can I call you tomorrow at 4? I mean, you can seriously like just put them in a time slot when you are available. And depending on like, I think it's just, the question again is, what are your goals? If you're saying you're going to work an hour a day, but you want to go diamond in 3 months, it's not necessarily reasonable. Like, you need to work more in order to get to diamond in 3 months. That's just the way it goes. So there's a balance of that, reevaluating your goal, your time. Like, but if you are working a good amount of time and it's just late at night or something, then you can say, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Can I call you tomorrow? No big deal. No big deal. Yes, Becky, you can do it. You are doing it. You're in the midst of it. Becky was on freaking conference stage in front of 20,000 people sharing her keto results. Like, she's a freaking ambassador, you guys. Yeah, totally is. I agree. Aw, Sam, you got this. Totally. Somebody's going to listen to the recording and be like, I have no idea what she's talking about. I'm just reading the comments. But okay. So when you think about your time slot, what you're going to do during your business, or like during your It Works time, your 6 list, your accountability partners, do you feel like you know what to do, or do we need to spell that out? And it's okay if we do. I'll write some things out. Or if somebody here has ideas of what their 6 list would be every day, share it.
We have like a 4 list with my newbies. That just happened to be because it was add people on Facebook, message 10 people, 10 minutes or whatever you can fit in of personal development, and I don't remember what. I have team on here. Help me out, guys.
So add people on Facebook. Oh, I'm typing and no one can see.
Where's my team? Here. Add people on Facebook, message people, personal development, and something else. And it was literally like, those are the only things that you need to be doing to like get somewhere in your business. Like, and so I was like, it's a 6 list, but right now you don't have.
It's really just the focus in.
So, you know, like if you don't have those customers or distributors to check in with, then you don't need to be doing anything else other than that. So, posting. Thank you. And my husband just yelled from the other room, booking parties.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Agreed. Agreed. Generating leads, you guys, just means always adding people to your hundreds list. So this is hundreds list follow-up. This is parties. This is expos. It's coming into expo season, so look and book things. This is one-on-ones. One of my new girls, Shauna, if you're on here, she had a party yesterday. She's had one-on-ones consistently. She's new. She's got 5 customers. Like this is generating leads. You're following up with them to book appointments, get them to parties, all of that. People ask me, what do you do all day? I talk to leads all day. That is what I do. I generate leads and I follow up to them all day long. There was a season where I was like, you know how they say you're top, like, who do you hang out with? You're like the 5 people you hang around. I was like, all I do is talk to leads all the time. That is the only thing I do. Other friends, all I do is talk to leads and new distributors, which is good. It works, but you certainly need to add personal development and like up level time too. We talked about that at the green carpet and the leadership training. So come to that.
The follow-up doesn't always mean just once.
Oh my gosh, yes. That's why it's a daily thing, right?
I have a distributor that joined me a year ago, $9.99, right? Mm-hmm. And she's having her launch party tomorrow, but has 25 confirmed guests. And we're doing an online Facebook event at the same time. And she has 16 people RSVP'd as going, not interested, but going.
Okay.
So she kept saying she had stuff in her life, and I'm like, I don't know if it's an excuse or, but I'll just, hey, how's it going? Are we ready yet? She's ready.
Okay. And timing is that's why this is a numbers game, because the timing and people change all the time. People go through transitions every 6 months. You think of a new mom. Now is not the best time, but in 6 months, it could be better. Or you start a new job, or, people are ebbing and flowing all of the time. That's awesome, Robin. Way to be open. So when she's ready, you're ready too. Oh, yay. Shauna's here. And then, so Becky says, goals scare me. I'm scared to fail because I know failing goals hits me hard and I retract. Okay. So this is where we want to reframe the end. Because let's say you decide you want to go diamond in 3 months and you truly take action every single day to get there, but you're not quite diamond. My guess is that your business is going to be very different from when you were doing nothing to when you were doing consistent action every single day for 3 months. Even if you aren't diamond in the system, you are going to have grown. Your team is going to have grown, and you are creating momentum, and you will go diamond. So the difference is not it's not a finish line. It's just a carrot. And the goal is that you grow in the process. And you learn. And failure is like in the eye of the beholder, to be honest. Like, there's a lot of things that we've learned through. And that doesn't mean it's a fail. It means we've learned. Yeah. Inspired action instead of fear-based action. So fear-based action, this is again in the book. Cheyenne, you're so good. Fear-based action is when you're doing the things, but you don't have the emotional connection. And it's about time to be done. This won't take long. But so fear-based action is essentially like you're doing the action. I'm following up with leads. I'm doing the things, like doing all the things in the list. But the attitude behind it is nobody wants it. This doesn't work. Your mindset is everyone stinks. Everyone hates me. I guess I'll go eat worms. That's the attitude. And so when you're following up with people, you're probably not going to get the best results. Inspired action, however, is when you could be doing the same exact activities, which is why when people say, what do I do? It's like not the question to ask. It's really, who do I be while I do it? But who do you be while you do it is someone who knows what you want. You're passionate. Shauna, that's why you've gotten 5 customers, is I've seen her talk to people already. And she's like, this is my why. This is why I'm doing it. I'm like, let's do this together. And she's excited about it. So the attitude behind the action will impact your results as well. And that's inspired. That's when we say you could do it hours and time goes by fast because you're doing what you love. Like, these calls bring me energy. They don't drain me. They bring me energy because I'm doing what I love, and that's inspired action. So, good question. Enjoy the process. Exactly. You know, when I was crying about how this, because I wanted to come out last year, it didn't. It could be considered a fail, but no, still done, just later than I wanted. So I was, whining about it again. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have a lot of really good speeches after this. But my dad said to me, he said, well, did you learn something that will help you next time? And I was like, yes. And he said, well, there you go. Thanks, Dad. Oh, he's so funny. Okay. And then Cheyenne, mastering your mean girl. Ooh, it's all about what we tell, the stories we tell ourselves. Good. I know, dads are awesome. Okay, one more question. Carol says, I'm a newbie. How much posting is too much? Okay, a couple things about posting. You really want to draw people into conversation. So don't post, buy this, who wants this? You want to get people to say, what are you doing? So I would say 3 to 4 times on Facebook a day is okay. It could be a little overkill, at least once or twice. But I know Marwa says 3 times, 1 product, 1 business, and 1 personal. And again, your people will follow you and sign up. They'd sign up with you more than the product itself. So at the end of the day, you want to show your personality, and you want to show you're kind of branding yourself, essentially. All right, Erin has a quick story. Yeah, totally unmute. Go ahead. Do you know how? Do you want me to do it? Got it.
Okay, cool. Okay, if you guys can hear me, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so someone was really looking for keto coffee, and I was the only one who had it. So they're going to talk to their husband, and then the next day they're going to buy it. But then the next morning, their aunt had died, and then they had to leave town immediately. So it was one of those things where, you feel like you're going to be successful, but sometimes things get in the way. But you shouldn't let that discourage you.
Yep. Yeah, that's so true. Sometimes it's just life. It's just timing, and has nothing to do with you. Absolutely. And now they're just on your list, and you know that you can reach out and be their friend in this season, and in a week or 2, and things kind of calm down, you can say, okay, I know you wanted that keto coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. One thing we've learned too, you guys, is that it really is if a waitress says, do you want mustard? And you say no, she does not take it personally. So just remember, our job is just to let people know what we have, be excited about it, and the ones that are ready will sign up with you, which is why we're always reaching our net. The more nets we cast, the more fish we'll bring in. Cool. All right. Well, I hope that creating your 90-day game plan is helpful. Sit with it, share it with me, share it in your group, share your daily, to chunked down list and what you're going to do during that time. And then hold yourself accountable by being loud with your accountability partners and loud with your team, because we want all of you to reach your goals. We know what's possible. Borrow my confidence and let's go get it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and we will see you next week. Bye.